Oi, oi, oi. Testing 1, 2, 3. It's working. Amazing. Hello and welcome everybody. Today, as usual, let's first show what we're drinking. It's going to be regular old triple Carmelite. It is delicious, let me tell you. The weather over here has been wild. It's been storming. And I had to leave my bike at the office. Megan came pick me up. God, otherwise I would have been soaked and would have had absolutely zero boosting to do this. So I cheers you. Schola. All right. Let's get right into it, So the thing we're doing today, or at least gonna try to do, is to host this thing on AWS using Terraform. So I'm quite new to that stuff. They already tried a bit of a setup, and I'll try to explain it, and then also hope that while I explain it, I will learn a couple of things myself. So this is the app that we've built up until now. I've redesigned it, quote unquote, a little bit so that it's maybe a little bit better. I don't really know. This is what the screen looks like if there aren't any quotes at all. If you then click on add quote, you get this pop-up. We'll add something like Jones saying, I already forgot what he said. Stream. There was a thing over here where we've got quotes. Here. Let's take this one, and then maybe Karel's thing for good measure too. Voila. Oh, it should contain the quotes. Ooh, we never actually tried that. Let's do a save. And there we go. So this is what the quotes now look like. You can obviously add more, and then it will just be a list where you can scroll through. Actually, I have not tried that yet, but that's what the UI looks like. We've got a small code base. That was already a little bit of a spoiler there. Which is organized like so. So we've got, where do we start? KunlaQuota application. It's just a Spring Boot application. And then there's a config that gets scanned. And there are two routes being route or wired as a bean, so that Spring recognizes those things. One is the API, where just our REST API list. This is the thing that we've mostly written end-to-end tests against. The UI is over here. That part has not been unit tested at all. So it's just like a trial and error kind of thing that we've been working on. So let's go over to how API works. So there's just a big old API routes block that uses a router function DSL, where we've got some nested functions, or nested extension functions, I should say. One for executing the add quote command, and another for the sharing a quote. Just Spring ways of getting all of that stuff. Then there's a find quote, stuff like that. Yeah. Eventually we'll end up over here in the quotes service. So this is part of the service thing over there. And it just delegates to some repositories and the domain if it needs it. Domain looks like this, very small and tiny. Don't know what else really to say. Yeah, so this is the thing that we're gonna try and put live on AWS somehow. I hope I won't share any secrets. I've already done some part of trying to put it in a secrets manager, so I wouldn't share any of that data, so hopefully it stays that way. If I happen to leak anything and I notice it, I will shut down the stream. So just to protect myself a bit, so I don't have to rotate passwords and all of that shenanigans. So yeah. So yeah, Terraform is a thing. What does it do? This is an example file, let's say, of Terraform. This is another one. What do we have? It's just a way to describe what infrastructure looks like. So it's infrastructure as code, as we sometimes call it, I guess. And so in all of these files, we're defining what we want to build. And the first thing you should define is a provider. So we're gonna choose AWS because that's what my company happens to be using as a sandbox environment, so I can easily deploy stuff on there without screwing up too much stuff, I hope. Then there's an outputs file where we just define, after the whole thing has been parsed or executed, applied, I think it's called, then everything in here will be printed out. So the one that's super important, the more important part is this one over here, because that will contain the URL at which you can find my deployed application eventually. So if you don't print this, you'll have to go to AWS console, try to figure it out yourself where it's actually being hosted. So that's what the outputs thing is. And then the other main point, I guess, is this task definition over here. So in this task definition, we're gonna use AWS Fargate, which is like the what they call a serverless alternative or something like that. So just use it to spin up services as you go, and then they will be spun down the moment they are not being used anymore. So that should also lower costs a little bit, I guess. To generate all of this stuff, or create it, I should say, I did make use of our good friend ChatGPT, as some people like to call it. Yeah, and I asked it for some help over here. So then eventually we got to these files over here. So that's somewhat working. So what are we defining here? So there's a ECS, so Elastic Container Service Task Definition. It's the thing that will be running our application. What does it do? We tell it to use AWS VPC as a network mode. No idea what that means. We need Fargate compatibility, the amount of quote-unquote CPU power we'll need, actual memory in megabytes, some roles that you'll need. As you can see, these are references to things that should be there. So this AWS IAM role with this name, we assume that it already exists, which it does, otherwise it wouldn't be there. And then we have to define what the thing is that the task will run. It's a container service, so what is the container that we will be running? It's the one that is defined over here in this ECR repository that has a resource. So this is a type of resource, much like this AWS ECS task definition. And here we've got the task definition's name is KunlaQuota. For ECR repository, it's also called KunlaQuota, so that you can have multiple, but this is the one I really want. There's a repository URL coupled to that, and then more specifically the tag we will be deploying. So every time we want to deploy a new version of our application, we'll also need to bump this snapshot. Either we do that manually, or I don't really know how we're going to do that yet. But so that's the deciding factor of for Terraform to decide when to deploy a new task definition. And supposed to be smart enough to detect there's already one existing, so let me kill that one and then deploy a newer one. You have to define some port mappings over here, so we'll just leave those as is. And then an environment, and we're using a database. But for our database now, I created one at the Ivan cloud. I don't really know what it is. It's free for cheap. So free is definitely for cheap. Postgres hosting. And I guess it works. But we're storing the username and passwords in Secrets Manager. So these credentials I already created. They're in Secrets Manager. And normally, or how it should work, is that while Terraform is trying to do these, it's supposed to go look at the Secrets Manager to go fetch those secrets upon trying to build, or I don't know, apply the task definition over here. So then where does this task definition get executed? Before that, you need to have a service. So the service is called like this. Here we're defining which task definition to bundle to it. Some other mumbo jumbo here. Here's a load balancer, so where it should be able to be found. Again, the container port, maybe that's okay. We'll think about that later. And then some security groups of they are over here somewhere. Not sure that we will need to sorry, got distracted by flashing lights. I don't know if I need to go over all of that stuff. It's just, yeah, definitions for security groups. Maybe we will visit that stuff anyway. I've hard-coded the subnets because laziness. You could also try to detect them, so when your zone moves, that you don't get screwed by hard-coding them. But that's not something I'm interested in doing now. Just want to make sure that with the current hard-coded stuff that I have got now, I can deploy and look at our beautiful app on AWS. And then afterwards, I'll refactor it a little bit so that it's a little bit better looking code. Okay, so this is needed so that you know where the task definition is going to be run. And then the other interesting part of configuration or infra as code is this application load balancer over here, which we called applb. Also contains some security groups, some tags, and then there's a listener. So here we're defining whenever there is something accessing this load balancer at port 80. What we want to do is we want to target listing. What is this load balancer target? It's the thing that lives on this VPC here, so somewhere over there, where our service is living basically at port 8080. So it's just doing some forwarding there, a bit of a health check, and that's all that we need really. I was running into issues while defining target group attachments, but since we're using Fargate, I understood that you don't need that. So removing that seemed to make more stuff work, so we'll keep it that way. So that's the target, or the load balancer, and then finally in that task definition, now we're referencing this ECR repository. What does that look like, or how does that look? You just define there needs to be an Elastic Container registry or repository. This is the registry that will set up in AWS so that I can Docker push my Docker images towards this one. And so eventually our application will be running in a Docker container. It's not optimized. It's just a Spring Boot executable jar being hosted in a Docker container that has a JRE basically, where you can enable the ports and pass along environment variables in order to configure your Spring Boot applications. That's what we're doing here, with those environment Spring data source overrides. Yeah, and that's it. So when I will run this, Terraform is going to parse all of this crap here, including this VPC, and then it will decide, I don't have this stuff yet, so let me go ahead and create it according to this provider that you've defined. So that's what should happen. And then it saves the state of your Terraform application in a file, so that when, let's say that I would be working in a team here, my colleague does some other infra as code changes, does a Terraform apply on their machine, that Terraform runtime will detect, actually the AWS infrastructure doesn't look at all like how you've defined, so let me only update the things that are necessary. Then when I do a deploy or a plan again, Terraform on my machine will notice, actually there's something else that happened, are you sure that you want to do that, blah blah blah, so that there's some synchronization happening. That's really what we want to see. So the thing that I was experiencing the last time that I used this Terraform here is I had a bit of an issue, because I did not want my ECR repository to be newly created. Why is that? Yeah, because in this task definition here, we are relying on the existence of an image that got pushed to this ECR repository. And pushing that image only happens when I enter that command from my machine. So I don't have a CI set up for that, but even still, I'm not even doing that when I'm doing a Terraform apply. So that means every time I'll do a destroy to get rid of this entire infrastructure on AWS, it will also remove my my ECR, my registry. And that's not something that I want. I just want my registry to be there, period. So what the first thing that we'll do now is we'll add a directory called ECR, and I'm going to move this one over there, and then I'm going to guess that I'll have to copy and paste this provider, but really what we'll do is we'll just copy that little part in there and put it in here, so that I'll be able to only run this ECR folder basically there. I'll run a Terraform plan and then an apply, so that this repository gets created. That's the plan. Yeah. So let's try and do that. So if I go to my console or my terminal, I'm not sure that you can read this well enough, in fact. Test. You just have to let me know if this is visible or not. Okay, so we've got a Terraform main. So the other more annoying thing that we continuously will have to do is I'll have to use AWS Vault exec to, so I already set up a bunch of stuff on my machine so that I can run Terraform commands wrapped in an AWS Vault, so that this terminal will come and ask me for my credentials, in order to execute AWS statements on this KunlaQuota sandbox over here. So this thing you'll see, or you will not, it is pointing to an AWS, what's that thing called again? Like it's not an alias, but like an ID or something. An environment on AWS that's got billing behind it and stuff like that. So what I want to do first is not apply plan, but I want to say plan. And then you can define output in TF plan. So now it's going to come and ask me for, hey, what's your password? And I have to fill in my super long password. Then it's going to come and ask me for MFA code, because of course. And then hopefully we don't have to do this too many times. Voila. Oei. Flag provided but not defined dash output. Maybe it's just out then. Okay, so I guess we'll need to do Terraform init first then. So I already did that setup in the previous part. Okay, so now let's try this then. And the reason I need this plan is because I want to, where is it? Apply the plan. And applying the plan, already exists. Then I'm a bit confuzzled, so maybe what I should do instead is do the destroy first, and then there's a dash auto approve that we'll have to try. No changes. Let's try running that same thing over here then, in like the main Terraform folder. Yeah, so this is something that I changed, so maybe we'll have to do a refresh first. Wacht, yeah, so now since we moved this ECR repository like that, we'll need to define it somewhere else. I guess over here, because now instead of just relying on, let's say data, and I think, you'll have to forgive me. Where else did we define data? So its name is something something. So I think we only need the AWS ECR repository, and then its name should be KunlaQuota, I guess. That's not good enough. Then it might be like this, and then there should be a URL here. That also doesn't do anything, I guess. Yeah, so here we'll need to say it's data, just like that. Maybe we can remove that anyways. No. Add name elements. I don't know why it's called differently here, or why we even need to define it. But yeah, so this looks like it might work. A reference to undeclared resource in outputs. Yeah, so in outputs we'll also need to define it like here. Or we could actually move this, because we'll just need to use it. So in here, I think we can still define it like that. Okay. Couldn't find a resource. Okay, so I guess we'll have to go look then. Maybe make it a little bit bigger. So there's ECR. In central, yeah. I expected there to already be something over here then. Container registry. Ah, voilà. It's this one then. KunlaQuota dash repo. Ah, wacht. Okay, so the name is incorrect or something, eh? So here it's called like that. Ah, voila. The name was not correct in our task definition over here, because it's called like this. That makes a little bit more sense. Okay, cool. So then we can destroy this. And then it should just remove the entire ECR as well. So eventually it will have destroyed all of the things. And then, voila, and now we can go to the ECR folder and then do a plan. I think the plan was still there, so I think I can just do apply. Okie dokie. So cannot apply, so we'll have to plan. Voila. And now we can apply that plan. So the reason why we're doing this apply with the plan is because if you don't, then Terraform CLI will come and ask you to reply with yes or no, whether or not you're sure. And this plan part doesn't ask you for adding the plan to it, I mean. Will not do that. Okay, so now we've got an ECR over there. So if we go back over here, voila, here it is. Created on the 8th of July. Sounds incorrect, in fact. Ah, voila. I guess it was just tag immutability disabled. Ah, it's disabled. Yeah, that's, I guess it's fine. Because we just want to override, zeg het, Docker images whenever we want. Okay, so now there's a plan here. So this is our repository URL. Voila. If we look at the Docker image ls that we've got, it's gonna be too much, I guess, but it's the bottom one over here, KunlaQuota 0.1.snapshot. And you'll see that I already tried pushing to EU West at some point somewhere 44 years ago. Yeah, I remember that as if it was yesterday. So now we need to tag our KunlaQuota snapshot again, but then with the proper ECR repository. Yeah? So it's not Git, it's a Docker tag. Fuck, I forgot the statement. Something like this. So this is our regular build. Then I'll need to remove all of this crap and then really just keep KunlaQuota-repo. We only want to keep the :001 snapshot. Voila. So we pushed. So we created a new tag. So if I do, yeah, okay. If I can type, it'll be better. Where is it? So here is the central one. So this is the new one that I just created. So now what I need to do is I want to push my image to this exact repository. So it's a repo :001 snapshot. Yep. Once this part is done, I should have an image hosted in there. And then I'm curious. It's saying something like no basic auth credentials. Maybe it forgot my Docker login part then. Okay, I guess I can cancel this because I don't think it will do anything if the... Ah yeah, it was already dead. Let me switch screens real quick. Because I'm not sure, I'm just not sure if it's going to... If I have to enter some sensitive information. So now I'm gonna try to do a Docker login, I see. So the Docker login was done on EU West. So that makes a bit sense. Because we switched to Central at some point. So this is a very funky looking statement where I'm wrapping AWS exec. That's the wrapper. And I'm calling AWS ECR get login password for a new region, and then I'm going to do a Docker login with that, which is crazy. Voila, login succeeded. So hello. you know stuff about Terraform? Ah, voila, this is looking better. Eh? So we just created our ECR on AWS using Terraform with these this piece of code basically. And I put it in a different folder because I don't want that when I destroy something in the main Terraform folder that my Docker registry is deleted or removed, because otherwise I will end up in this chicken and egg problem where my Terraform application, doing the apply on Terraform, builds the ECR again, and then the task definition, so we're using Fargate here, that the task definition relies on a Docker image being there, but publishing the Docker image, it's a manual step that we're doing here, and it's not done via Terraform. Maybe you can do that. I'm not sure at all. Yeah, so that's the current plan. And then we're going to run into a different issue, and I hope, voila. So that part is done as well. So if we do a refresh now, pada, here is our Docker image of our application, which is great. So we have a reference to that application, or the Docker image, in fact, using this data point over here. Eh? So now what we can do is we can go to the main Terraform part and then do, yeah, I guess we can go like that. Where is it? So not an apply, but we can do plan first. Here, using Azure and uploading jar files. The jar upload is also outside of Terraform. Ah, yeah, okay. Yeah, for me, it also makes sense to do it like that, in fact. So we'll apply TF plan. And now it's gonna take us for a ride, doing a bunch of stuff, and then in the end it will complain. So what we're doing here is we're using AWS Vault to use my .aws folder to fetch, how you say that, like to make sure that this statement over here is applied with the proper AWS credentials. That's what this AWS Vault thing does. And every so often it comes and asks me for my password, sometimes my MFA code. But because we're wrapping this Terraform apply statement in this AWS Vault, I have to pass in the plan. So I have to do the Terraform plan using or writing it to an output, because otherwise it's gonna come and ask me for confirmation, and if I try to press Y and then enter, the enter part does not get registered because of the AWS Vault exec thing. Okay, so now it's gradually creating all of the infrastructure, and it's going off and on between the load balancer and the ECS service, so the container service. Eh? So, and then once this is done, it's gonna complain that it cannot fetch secrets or access this here secrets manager to go fetch my my database credentials. So I'm using a different cloud service because that one has free Postgres. It's called Avon something something. So that was the plan. Here, secrets manager complete. So there is a VPC endpoint for that now. Maybe I never tried this, so it might just work all of a sudden. So from what I understood is that this VPC endpoint to the secrets manager is supposed to allow your where is that VPC? Where are you at? Secrets manager over here. Allow this task definition to use it. So here's the AWS VPC endpoint using secrets manager, and then I guess somewhere over here. I think it's because of this that it understands to use that VPC definition over there. I'm not sure that we need to write it. Ah, voilà. Okay, wacht. I'm not really telling everything. So Terraform application is supposedly green, which is great. So now we expect there to be a running KunlaQuota application on this URL. So let's see if that's indeed true. Yeah, I should have just left that over there. So this is the thing that we will probably get. Service temporarily unavailable, which is very unfortunate. And then what I ended up discovering last time as well is if I go to our cluster over here. Yeah, voila. Here there's 0 of 1 tasks running. There is a deploy in progress. And if I click on this task, I think it's here that I have to click on. No. Damn, it's this magic combination. This part is very difficult for me. I really don't get it properly. Wacht, so we go back. I'll go to task running. Health status unknown. Maybe it's logs here then. Nee, allee. There was a part that told me like in a big red error message, you done messed up. No, this is not it neither. We can see that it's still not running, eh? Wait, so this I can remove because it's just a container. It does say that it is active though. AKA it's no longer running. Okay, we go back here. Oh, no, it's still pending. Nothing else is running. Alea, what was the magic combination of getting there again? It's not in there neither. Oh, one failed. god. I guess the other thing I could try and do is go to CloudWatch and then see if it's somewhere in there, but this I haven't done yet. I'm not even sure that we've got log groups enabled. What's in the deployment tab? There's it in and it's in progress. So it's saying that it's in progress, but really it's already dead. I cannot find... Voilà. Fucking finally, dude. So, wacht hè. It's tasks and then it says configuration. Let's try to find a way back there. So there's tasks. And I've lost it. Here's the task definition, but it's not really what we want. So if you go to deployments again, and then there's a... Here. Deployment. I started one task, this one, and then this one fails. No, but we just had it. I remember seeing a red screen. Where is it? Maar dat kan toch niet? It retries the task. That's why it doesn't always show the... Today we are learning a lot. So we go to deployments. Here's then the previous one. Yeah, you can see it's being retried. Voilà. Okay, so here we go. Unable to pull secrets or registry auth. Execution resource retrieval failed, unable to retrieve secrets from ASM. Service call has been retried 5 times, failed to fetch secret, around secrets manager, blah 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 blah. Request contact cancelled because context deadline exceeded. Please check your task network configuration. So, the last thing I did was I told ChatGPT, hey, I'm still running into this error when AWS is trying to deploy the task definition. So the thing, yeah, I cannot parse this, for me, just because I simply don't know enough about all of it. So the ensure cross-region access is, we no longer have that because I moved everything to EU Central last time. So that should not be a thing anymore. Then there's a VPC endpoint for Secrets Manager. If your ECS tasks are in a private subnet without internet access, you need to create a VPC endpoint in both EU. So we only needed a central one. And then ensure the security groups associated with your ECS task allow outbound traffic. Ooh, this one, I'm not sure that we have. Oh, there's detailed steps. That's cool. So the VPC endpoints for Secrets Manager. This one I think we already have. So that's the stuff I added in VPC. That's this one. Use the main ID. Use EU Central 1 Secrets Manager. It's this thing here. Use the same subnets. And then update security group rules. I don't think I've done this, in fact. Associated with your ECS tasks. Okay, let's go find. So ECS task, that's this one. It is bound to, where do you see that security group again? It's the other way around. So this is the one for our application load balancer. Here's ECS, which is just a service. I guess we'll need one of this one then. And this is outbound, but it's outbound for secrets manager. So this is ECS tasks to secrets MGR or something like that. But then, so now I guess I'll need to security group ID. I need to do something like this in my task definition. Error. How come we could not find it? AWS security groups. Oh, this is a rule. That's new to me. The rule, I don't know what that is. Can you also define a rule or reference that or something? Yeah, so this I don't know. I don't know how the rule works. And then I feel like the permissions part we're not really hitting yet. I would expect there to be a different error message then or something. Because the error we're getting now is saying, please check your network config. The rule references the security group above. Let's go back here to this one. Yeah, that's also true. So if that security group is already associated with the task, it should be fine. Follow that logic, yeah. But then, yeah, why not also just define this thing here inside of that? Plus also this is for ECS, and I think, can we do a usage? Oh, we can. That's cool. This here is also in a block network configuration for ECS service, and not for the task, I guess. I'm going to guess that if we go to the task, then you know what? Let's just try that. I usually try to figure out what the Terraform structures mean by clicking through the, what's the web console? The web console. You can also like do like this, you mean? AWS console. Yeah, because, yeah, indeed. So all of these fields, if you can call them that, they correspond to a thing somewhere here on your screen. Yeah, that's a good way of doing it, I think. So we've tried something now. Maybe this I can already sort of wanted that to commit that one already. But before we do, let's do something like that. and then plan again. Oei, unsupported argument. But we already did add the, I guess we already added it over here, eh? And we referenced that security group, so maybe you're right. That's the only thing that we just need for now. So over here we can not do that yet. And then try this again. All right, that's the plan. And then I want to apply set plan. Okay. So, and then this is the thing I don't really get. So it's creating this ECS tasks to secrets manager, and it's no longer doing this task then. Is that correct? Oh. Yeah. Deployments. This was just now, I guess. Yeah, I see. I expected it to have failed already then. Oh wait, Megan is going to be a maniac and make a smoothie. I'm gonna mute myself. And she's done. So the thing I don't really get now is the security groups have been changed, but then I figured that, yeah, don't you then also need to redefine this tasker or something too, so that one also, this task definition, so that this one also gets updated. So I almost want to go something like this, and then, you know, like trigger it on purpose. It will not find it, eh? Or you can add a dependency. But then dependent on what? Hello. The Sabba is back. Yeah, so now it's changed the ECS, eh? And then hopefully it restarts this part. We've got our service deployment is going on, so to speak. So I can go here. Yeah, so for this one, I'm not sure because it's the current one. I guess I will wait for this one to fail or something. Or succeed. What is in this networking thing, in fact? Task execution role. That's outbound. I don't see any new rule for the SSH port or like the to the task. Nee. Fucking hell, yeah. I go to the cluster. I go to the tasks running. There's nothing running. Deployments. Here is the deployment. Here is the failed one from just now. Nee, it's still I guess doing stuff. Maar ja. Ah, voilà. Still same issue. So I have not read the troubleshooting guide. It's also impossible for it to provision it because that snapshot 2, this one doesn't exist at all. So, allez. So where were we with our logic? We added that rule to the security group. This name doesn't matter, huh? Or whatever you put in here, it's just something that you name it. Type is egress. I don't know how these fucking rules work, yeah. Okay, so I guess I need to use this one then. As a new resource. Maybe that will change something. Or it's either that or inlining it into that security group itself, I guess. Also, I'm not sure how I feel about specifying all. So I needed this one then, which is a more specific one. And I guess I don't need to define a type then. What's nu weer? IP protocol, that's going to be this one, I'm going to guess. Okay, let's try with that, huh? Plan. Oh my god. Ooh. What now? Unsupported argument signer blocks. Ah, then how do you specify it then? Oh. Like this, I hope. Okay. So what will it do? A new one will be created. it says 0 to destroy. That's also weird, eh? No? Because didn't I just add that rule in the thing before? Fucking hell. Okay, so then because we want to trigger the task to be redeployed, now we can choose 1 again, I guess. Plan it again. Now it's 1 to destroy, Malayang. What is it going to destroy then? And now it also has seemed to detect this part here. Look. Will it completely override the egress then? Because I guess that's also not really what I want, eh? Is it? From port 0. It looks the same though. I mean, this is fine. Okay, let's apply it. And then go find out what it's doing again. Okay, so this is the thing in progress. Can I not click on it then? Ah, here. Niks, ja. This is also weird. Or was this just the last one? No? Inactive. Ah, yeah. So it might be that it's still only deploying this one now. The 5 then. Don't really get it. Because it continuously retries, that's probably why, yeah. Pending. So now we just stay here until it crashes again, I think. Or is it running actually? No. What is this? I cannot even parse this fucking thing out. Let's find out if it worked. So nope. It should look like this, huh? Can we check the security group configuration in yes, we can. I say that and then I don't know where to fucking go, of course. Security groups. We want the one of this cluster here has a service, and then in the service here. Is it this one that you want to see? Yeah, it's the security group and not the network, eh? It still doesn't have... Wacht, this is just inbound. Out outbound, all traffic, all ports, any kind of IP, I guess. Does it also need an inbound one for... Wacht hè, what is egress again? That's incoming hè? Toch? Nee, ingress is incoming. Dumbass. It's not what we want and it should work, yeah, because we're exposing more ports. That's how I understood it. So for egress, that's what's, yeah. These are just make it open for all ports. Maybe it has nothing to do. Maybe then the message is just confusing, and we'll have to make sure that the IAM role is correct. That's the other thing that we haven't done yet, huh? Deployments. Go here. Is there a way that we can test doing this from the secrets manager? Or we should just read this fucking thing. I guess that's what this troubleshooting thing was about. So what are we getting? Request context cancelled caused by blah blah. This looks like the issue that we are getting. Eh? There's also another one. Both say check network connection. Here there's another one. Cannot pull registry authentication. No, that's not it. It's unable to pull secrets or registry auth. But it is secrets, eh? Secrets. And it's not from systems manager parameter store, it's from the secrets manager, eh? So it is this one. Okay. Can't pull the image defined in the task definition using the credentials in the secrets manager. What? What image define. Well, like, why? I think this is what we did there. Interface endpoints are powered by private link to privately access secrets manager APIs with an internet gateway, VPN, or AWS direct access. VPC don't need public IP addresses to communicate. Yeah, that's all great to hear. No. Yes, the other thing we could do is instead of trying to fetch the secrets from secrets manager is to because we do that so that we can host on our database on another service, cloud service. I guess we could just use RDS, but I'm not sure that RDS has a free tier. Creating an interface endpoint in Amazon. This is that endpoint, I'm going to guess. Use the service name com Amazon AWS. Com Amazon AWS region.secrets manager. To control access, C, control access to VPC using endpoint policies. This vaguely resembles what ChatGPT was going on about. It's this part. Let's try this out, I guess. So you still need a policy. And where do we put this in IAM roles then? Mahjong, it's over here. Fucking hell. IAM policy secrets manager. Yeah, that's this part. I've got no idea what this version means. Statement allow. Effect is allow. Yeah. Action gets secret value. Then it should be central. It is central. This is just the ID. That is the resource that we're accessing. Let's see if that's true. Sure, I guess. Looks legit, eh? So if if I paste, nothing should change, and nothing did change. And then there's this stuff. This is task execution. There's also this one. This one we didn't add, I think. Role policy attachment. The fuck is this? This is the ECS task execution. No, it is this one. But this only contains service role ECS task execution policy, and it doesn't mention this one. So do you need like another one or something? Let's just try adding that one. So this needs to be prefixed with data. And here is the ARN. So now we're adding that one. Okay. Let's figure out if that was the issue then. So we'll plan again. Guess I'll have to, yeah. Yeah, this isn't task. It's task execution, but for secrets manager. Task execution role secrets manager policy. Here, try it again. Warning. This I don't get. Ah, yeah. It's that egress rule. I guess. Yeah, I couldn't find the. Maybe this is why it was never applied. Fuck, where was that again? Security group. Maybe I need to use like a newer version or something. My young mod. Well, which one could it not find? Well, whatever. Let's apply the plan. And then we should go back to one of these tabs. Oh god. This is a security group. Here are the tasks. Oh. Well, this looks different. Failed to start. Can you tell me why? let's try changing this task definition again here, so that we force the task definition to be recreated. You mentioned something about the depends on using that one. Okay. This should definitely fail because snapshot 2 does not exist. Now we're getting less output. Fucking hell, yeah, I guess, wacht hè. So it sort of makes sense because the thing doesn't exist, eh? So let's try again then. Guess we could have also pushed 002. It's weird that it's putting 6 below 5 and then 7 at the top. Huh? And then Zucht. Maybe this was also an old one. Monday, I just want I think we're still getting the same error. Do we get the date here? 22, 25. Oh no, this was still 23. No, and then this one isn't doing anything. Man, debugging AWS stuff is hard. Ah. Unable to pull secrets again. Same issue it looks like. Yeah. I feel like now we do have everything, eh? Okay, well, let's just try to add an RDS. Allee. So there is a free tier according to ChatGPT. But yeah, this is MySQL, but there's Postgres also, I hope. Replace the secrets section with environment variables for the RDS database. So now you need to hard code those. Jonge. Yes, I'll be sure to do that on stream. Where are they defined even? The username, it's over here. So you just define the username and password like this. This can't be real. Let's see how ChatGPT reacts if I tell him that I'm on stream. You can generate those with Terraform. Oh, that's nice. It's just a separate Terraform resource. Zit hier, ja. So SSM is something different than Secrets Manager. I'm going to guess. also wonder where it's getting these DB host and port and name things from now, because those are not Spring Boot, or no longer Spring Boot properties, eh? Let's start with this part here. So we'll add an RDS file, rds.tf, hoppakey. So what is being done here? So do they create a new subnet then, or how does that work? Wacht, hè. Where is network over here? Nowhere. Thought we already had it somewhere, but okay. Then sure, let's call it main then. Then there's a DB instance. I don't want this. I think I want Postgres. Okay, so it's Postgres, and then I guess this is an older engine version, I think. Maybe this one we can choose anyway. But our Postgres version is latest. I don't know what latest is. Oh god. 15.7. Amai. There is also 17. Okay, so like this then, I guess. Up. Yeah, this is my database. We should just call it KunlaQuota, something like this. So these we will generate eventually. Is there some other stuff we will be missing? Define a subnet group name. Oh, where else did we define? Over here, and this is in of course, VPC. So I guess I'm not sure, but maybe it's better to put that subnet stuff in here in VPC instead of inside of our RDS. How do you feel about that? Doing it like this is just making a component, really, yeah? So that I like that part. And then also Terraform will tell you if there's some duplicate that's already been defined. So this is not the correct port. It should be this one. Again. Yeah, and then the tags. The tags should be something like this. voila. This one a main, no idea. RDS subnet main, something like that. So this we all got. Then if we go to our task definition again, then so this image is fine. Okay, and then here we've got no longer the event stuff. We can use this one with port. It's fixed. The database was also fixed. We could make properties out of those, but whatever. This is the name. Where is the... Was this the database name? I guess. Yep. No, this we don't care about. Okay, and then we've got... Actually... I'm wondering, So, let's imagine that I'm using this RDS here, and I'm just showing you guys the username and password as admin and password. Since this database is on a VPN on my AWS infrastructure, and you can it will allow access from anyone. So I guess if I wanted to be limited, wait, is that correct what I'm saying? It lives on this main subnet, but I guess it's not. I guess I don't want to allow ingress from anywhere. I only want to allow ingress from my VPC. So from this range, toch? Then let me ask this motherfucker. Can I only allow ingress coming from my Spring Boot application instead of the entire World Wide Web? Because if I do that, it's correct. If I do that, then it doesn't matter if I share my username and password, I guess. Well, yeah, my database credentials, I mean. So we have a security group. Oh, yes. And so instead of saying ingress can come from anywhere, we can say it can only come from this security group ID. That's this one. Is that correct? Okay. There's already a security group for my ECS service. This is the one. And the egress, I don't think it even needs to go anywhere, this database. Like it should just communicate on this port, toch? Attach the security group to the ECS service. We already did that, So if we go over here, yeah, then this one was, what was it again? Just admin and password, I guess. Yeah. Maybe you can default. I didn't do a rename. What do you think? Safe enough? No, that's what I thought. Are we missing something still? The roles maybe. It should be ARN then. Huh? I thought like when you do that, then wacht, because in security groups, I think we did that elsewhere too, nee? Fuck, where was it? Let's see what happens if we just do. Wait, oh my. Don't know what happened there, but we want to plan. Let's try with ID, yeah? No, also doesn't work. So what do you then use? Is there a .cider block or something that you can use, or? Security groups. Ah, yeah, okay, I'm stupid, yeah. Ah, yeah, voila, okay. So, okay. Let's do it then, yeah. Fuck it. Oi. You have specified 2 resources that belong to different networks. So in RDS, we have a security group RDS. Invalid group. That belong to different networks. Okay. So how do I interpret that properly then? So we say that our DB instances security group IDs belong to this one. But then in here, I'm referencing the one from ECS. And that you are not allowed to do or something. And is that because this DB subnet is a different one or something like that? Where is DB subnet group? No, it's a different one. A DB subnet group is something else, huh? Fuck. Let's see if this works. let's show this to our friend. Ensure that both ECS and RDS instances are within the same VPC. Oh. Wait. Wait. VPC, open it to the side. So this is the RDS one. Yeah, this is fine. Because AWS VPC has then 2 subnets, that's what we already had. And then in ECS security group, that security group references this VPC ID. And here our RDS security group does not. Like this. Yeah, and then you still reference the ECS security group. And here you just reference the DB subnet. And there's no mention of the VPC over here. Okay, let's give that a shot. Nee, not apply. Cancel. Cancel. Plan first. Oh, okay then. All right, let's apply. Son of a bee. Olé. Yeah, I didn't know which one it is. I asked which one do you have available? .15, 16.3 R2. Ah, and this one is the beta. Okay. So let's use this one then. Yeah, I don't care. Allee, just... So... Nee. So you cannot use dashes or something, is that it? Or it's too long, that could also be a thing. Would be silly though, eh? Oh. Doop-de-doop-de-doo. So what else is going on in your life? Be happy if this fucking thing is finally working on. Shit, yeah. Wow, it's doing KunlaQuota DB. I used to think there's something going on. Creating. I don't know. Setting up backup plans or something. Oh, wait, it's a security group that's active, not yeah, no idea. Configuring enhanced monitoring. We don't want that. I don't want any of it. It's just I'm going to destroy it the moment we're done streaming, eh, Ali? Ah, cool. Publicly accessible? No. They're getting the bites fresh from the Amazon forest. Oh. Yeah. Available. Still creating. So now it needs to be renamed or something. I don't know what's going on. Ooh, look. Wacht, so that means theoretically we should go, or be able to go there. Go to UI. Fucking hell. Let's go to ECS. Yeah, that's a good point. I guess it didn't. Yeah. Here's the task definition. Yeah, actually it will. It should have. Because we're pointing it here now. Toch? ECS service. Maybe it's still trying that bullshit because of there's still some lingering configuration about that Seekers Manager stuff, huh? Maybe that's why. Where will we be able to find that? Not here. Here. Get rid of this stuff. There's more stuff. Don't want this. Don't want that neither. LB. Sorry. That's the cluster. There's nothing really in there. This one we just cleaned. Provider? Nah. I guess this should be Gucci, Andy? Maybe somewhere in here still? Secrets? No, yeah. No. Okay. Nee. Oh. Plan it again, and then we'll apply it again. It's not doing anything with the task definition, apparently. Maybe in the meanwhile we can go back to the deployments over here. Now it's giving me the message that it could not. So I think this is going to be the issue, that it cannot download the image from my Docker registry. We're not going to get this done today, are we? Godverdomme zeg. My god, it invented ops people. I should get the Johan on stream, young. He'll tell me what to do. Ja, Eide. So if I understand it correctly, allee, you now have issues with our task definition not being able to, or not being allowed to pull from the ECR registry, yeah? Docker registry. Yeah, this one should be good already. Oi. Now they end up using the region, zeg. Those are the VPC endpoints. Then here's roles. I think this was just called ECS. And it lives in data. Yeah. And then this one should be fine already, yeah? Allee. I guess is not very useful, I guess. So you cannot put it on the endpoint because then it's failing. You cannot put it on the VPC neither because there it's also not. Oh, okay. Never mind. Or is this the same? Oh no, okay, so that was it. So is it true that since we changed the VPC, everything will need to be recreated then? Nee. Okay. Well, we are adding network and policies to allow the task definition to contact SSM so that it can download the Docker image from the registry. That's what I understood. Balls. No, it's still the same issue, jongen. Okay. I am accepting defeat. We'll commit. And then what we'll do is we will destroy auto proof. Anyway. We'll just leave this killing things and then I will call it a night. Thanks for your help, Vincent. It was appreciated. AWS claims another victim. I'll have to ask the experts. Speaking of which, we have this, it's not here. Here, Terraform up and running. So here we had this workshop where there's a realistic use case that sets up Terraform with, you know, putting the state files on S3 so that multiple people can access it or something like that. it properly uses availability zones as a data point, stuff like that. I mean, as local variables. Sets up a VPC, internet gateway, multiple subnets, route table, some associations, a NAT gateway, subnets, and then eventually there's some security groups with access to a database, and then there is an RDS in here somewhere too. Ah, here you can just use a random. Okay. Would have been nicer to use anyway then. And then some specific AMI, but I forgot why that was a thing. Auto scaling. So I guess what I could have tried was copy pasted all of this and then reapplied it to make it work with the Spring Boot application, because really this is just a stupid Nginx. Stupid. It's an Nginx that's being started just to make sure that we can have something running in Terraform, but yeah, maybe that will be for next time. Am I still destroying stuff? Good job, AWS. Or good job, Terraform. Alright. But yeah, thanks for hanging out. For the moral support, I appreciate it. And hope to see you next week somewhere. Northern is definitely a better ChatGPT, for sure. Although he is not very responsive, I guess. Maybe he's not responsive on at 11:30. Ah yeah, tomorrow, indeed. Tomorrow for the white paper. Maybe I can show that. It's the meetup. This one, huh? The white paper, the second white papers session from Socrates BE, where we try to figure out what psychological factors influence developers' productivity, and is there a difference with other industries? Nice. I forgot if I was going to give a lightning talk there. I guess I can already talk a little bit about what I've read. But like I said, I got into this rabbit hole. It's difficult to get out or even make something clear enough to share with other people. My mind is going everywhere at the same time when I'm into that part. Fucking hell. Ale, have a good one. See you tomorrow, and other people see you next week. Deuces.